We build badge designers so you can design beautifully looking badges. But we also designed our badge designer in a way that you can create a couple of other things. And what I want to show you now is how you can use it to create nameplates. If you're working in conferences, you probably know these nameplates. This one is hand-drawn and not particularly pretty, but you find them everywhere. It's essentially a piece of paper inside a piece of acrylic. And when I worked at my first event job as a student, I had to create 150 of those page by page in Microsoft Word. Now, if we look at those, all they are is essentially a piece of paper within acrylic folded in half. So this one is in A4, which is the European standard size. North American event planners will probably use letter, but it's all the same. So let me show you how to make your life easier by creating these automatically using our new badge designer. I'm going to share my screen with that. And what you see here is I'm going into my badge designer and I'm creating add a badge. Now it says add a badge, but you can create so many other cool things with it. So I'm going to call this nameplate. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm only going to apply to specific people groups because I only need nameplates for my speakers. So I'm going to select people group, click speakers. And in my next step, I'm going to select the paper size. So we have standard paper sizes here ready for you. But for this one, we're actually not going to use a standard badge size, but we're going to print it on a full sheet of paper. So what I'm going to do here is I'm entering the size of an A4 sheet of paper, which is 297 by 210 millimeters. You can find the same for letter paper and put it in here. Click Save. And the next thing you'll see is you are on the badge designer to create your page. So what I want to do is essentially just like the sheet here, I want the name to be on the lower half. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to click Add. I'm going to click Text Block. And I'm going to enter first name and last name. And in theory, that's already it. So I can take this and I can move it to the bottom and center it. And there we go. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to make it look a bit more beautiful. 1 second. So one thing you noticed here is I clicked Scale to Fit. So it makes the text size slightly smaller if the name is too big to fit on the sheet of paper. What we're also going to add for just extra usefulness is we're going to add where the speaker works and what their position is. So let me do that. And now all I have to do is hit Save Changes, and I can preview and see my badge here. And you can see it's only for these people who are speakers at my event. Now, we want to make it look a little bit more beautiful because, you know, branding gives a really reassuring feeling about your event. So let's add some branding to this. And the way we're doing this is I'm using a free tool called Canva, but you can also use Photoshop or anything else. I'm going to create a background. I just built this using a Canva template. And what you notice here is that it is as wide as the sheet, but it has only half the height. So essentially, instead of being 297 by 210, it's 297 by 105 millimeters. And that same works if you're using inches. So let me download this. And let me go back to my badge designer. And let me go back to the editor, add an image. And let me pull it to full size. And let me move it to the bottom half. Now you see the image is covering the text. And in order to fix this, I'm just going to click Arrange and Send to Back. And now I'm just going to realign my text so it fits nicely with my image. And there we go. So once I've saved my changes, all I need to do is download the PDF going to select my batch size as the paper size. I'm going to make sure that I don't print the border, and I'm going to set the custom borders to 0, because most printers actually now can print just up to the border, so you don't need to keep any margins anymore. And that's that. And so once you're done with that, this is what your printer is going to provide you with. And so once I fold this in half and put it into my acrylic, I have a beautifully looking nameplate designed in Batch Designer. And whether you do 10 or 150 of those, it's always going to be the same amount of work. I hope this makes the job easier, and I hope you find this inspiring. If you have any other cool ideas what to do with Batch Designer, let me know.